Hey, welcome back to the Dubster podcast sessions, and this week I'll be chatting to P Spliff out of the USA. Hey, P Spliff, how you going, mate?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, Rod?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Pretty good. Yeah, ready to rumble for the podcast. I'm going to start off with a nice, easy question, if that's all right with you.
Oh, absolutely. Go for it.
Okay. What is your name?
Paul Smith.
Okay. And what's your DJ name?
P Spliff.
Okay. And how did you get that name? I'm assuming I can work that out from what you said earlier on, but how did that come together? P Spliff.
Well, a while back, it's probably been about 7 or 8 years ago when I first got into music production. I had a friend of mine that was really, really big into the reggae scene, and he looked at me and goes, "You need to go by P Spliff." He goes, "Spliff is what Bob Marley calls his joints," and I was sold on it ever since.
Fair enough, man. That works. Yeah, definitely. When did you start, and how did you start getting into production?
Well, I was in marching band and classical band and an orchestral band coming up through middle school and high school. And after I graduated high school, I was looking for another outlet for my music. So I started with hip-hop production, and I did that for a few years. And then one of my friends introduced me to the electronic scene heavy, and we went to Electric Force, and I was sold. I felt the love and the positive vibes, and I just wanted to take that and run with it and spread it across my area as much as I could.
Brilliant. That's good, man. That's good. And what have you been up to lately? What's been happening for you at the moment?
Here in this past couple of months, I've been really stuck in the studio getting some new tracks done for this upcoming album that I'm working on, called Relative Dimensions. And I've also been playing shows. I've probably played 4 or 5 shows in the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Nice. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. You were saying about you getting into your early music and that, but who were your influences, like any songs or DJs or producers that inspired you?
Well, producers that have inspired me the most have been like Rusko and Scream, 12th Planet and Bass Nectar. All their music has really spoke to me on that sub-bass level of wanting to move you emotionally through the sound.
And you were saying you DJ as well, but as a producer, what's your favorite equipment in the studio?
My favorite equipment in the studio, I'm really partial to Massive, Native Instruments Massive as a plug-in with Ableton.
Right.
I love messing with that, and I love messing with Serum as well. Plugins are, I think, my best tool.
What kind of equipment or what type of equipment would you like to get next? If you could have any amount of budget, what would you like to get next?
I'd like to get the MPC hardware. It seems that it's very versatile in what you can do with it. And I've watched a lot of producers using that, like Arab Music uses it, and Zaytoven uses it in all of his production. Like, it seems to be a very versatile key, and I think it would help me a lot to have a standalone unit that I could take anywhere and produce wherever I want.
Awesome. That's great, man. Yeah, thanks for that. Just say a bit of a sillier question now, but if you could order one meal, what would it be?
Honestly, it would have to be pizza, man. I love pizza. I'll order any day, every day. I could live off that stuff.
All right. What kind of pizza?
Banana peppers and pepperoni, mostly. But I like that Chicago-style deep dish pizza the most. Anytime I'm in Chicago, I have to have some of that. Probably all day, every day, I'll have a piece in my hand.
Okay, brilliant. That's good, man. It's always interesting to hear what people say, like, what kind of food they're into. Where should we go to check some of your work, your music, your productions? What's the best place for people to find you, like a website or online?
SoundCloud.com/P Spliff Music.
Okay, man, that's cool. So just is it P hyphen or just P Spliff?
It's just P Spliff Music, all lowercase, no hyphen, no dots.
Okay, that's good
stuff.
Up
straight.
Brilliant. As a DJ, like, you're getting to play different types of venues with different crowds, and you're going out to places. What's your favorite place to play?
My favorite place to play is anywhere there's a crowd of people willing to listen.
All right, that's a great answer. Great answer, definitely. This is an easy one. What question should we have asked you?
I think the scene that I started in, what has made me become the producer I am today.
Okay, and okay, what scene did you start in, and what made you become the producer that you are today? I'll ask the question.
Well, thank you. What's made me become the producer I am today is the area I grew up in, Huntington, West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia area. It's a very old cultured area. When I mean old cultured, like everything's stuck in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And the kids here don't have any type of places to go to. Like, let's say kids anywhere from 17 to 25 years old, it's like these kids are lost without a voice. And me and my friends, like, I have a bunch of friends around here, Shaggy and Lucas the Flow and Lancelot, and we all have the same type of mission, is that we want to bring these kids up, to the new age way of thinking and have peace and tranquility and love all through a gathering of people and sound.
Nice, that's great stuff, man. Definitely. So I mean, that sounds like a real mission. Who are the guys you mentioned there? Is that a collective you're part of?
Yeah, it's a collective of artists that we've all became friends by wanting to be on the same mission by ourselves, and like we've all just linked up by doing shows or going to other people's shows and trying to reach out to artists. But Lucas the Flow, he is a brilliant mad scientist in the studio. He's played infrasound up in Wisconsin this year. He's on track to do some really big things. So are Shaggy and Lancelot. They're both played multiple festivals as well as myself, and we're just really trying to get this core scene in West Virginia off the ground. And and people can go, hey, West Virginia is a place that people can come and have fun. We don't have any big artists ever come through our neck of the woods just because it has a bad rap of, hey, well, nobody will buy tickets or nobody will come to the shows. When in all actuality, we've built a core fan base for electronic and bass music.
Brilliant.
That is around 500 to 700 people deep.
Brilliant, man. Well, I hope there's plenty of promoters and festival, tour operators that are listening to the podcast and are hearing what you're saying. And, we can get a link up happening, man. It'd be good to get West Virginia and yourself hooked up there and get some shows happening. When you're not doing music, what's your favorite thing to do?
My favorite thing to do when I'm not playing or making music is I love to go see live music, whether it be jam bands or reggae or other bass artists or folk groups even, or bluegrass groups. Like, live music is my favorite hobby.
Brilliant. That's
if I
good.
can be allowed, if I can be allowed around live music, I'm a happy camper.
Great stuff, man. That's good stuff. Who should we interview next?
I would like to talk to Lucas the Flow personally. He's a great guy and a genuine person and an amazing artist. I think you would get a kick out of talking to Lucas.
Brilliant. Okay, man. We'll see if we can get the links from you and we can hook up a chat with him. That sounds great, definitely. You sort of spoke earlier on about you've got a new album you're working on and stuff. So what's your next projects? What's happening for P Spliff and what can we look forward to in the future?
Well, in the future for P Spliff, there'll be an EP dropping here within the next 6 weeks that's going to be on me. But the bigger picture is with me and Lucas the Flow, we're dropping this Relative Dimensions album that I spoke on earlier. And it's really a big deal to us because the effort that we put into it with the basis that we want to come out of the song, like we want to create the vibrations to be felt instead of heard.
All right.
That way it can transport people to a different level of thinking or a different consciousness, if you will. Because there's so many things that go into making music that a lot of people don't realize, but when you can make that music come to life for somebody else in their own consciousness, that's where the magic happens.
Well, man, I say you've spoken about some of your influences and with your direction in music, so definitely it's exciting to hear you talk about that. And I'm definitely going to be looking on your SoundCloud and seeing if what music you're dropping. I definitely probably won't be listening to your music on a little tiny mobile phone. I probably need to get some speakers, some real bass speakers to hear it. But yeah, I'll be definitely looking out for some of that stuff, man. And it's really good to hear what's going on in the US, and obviously you're West Virginia. You're pushing the scene and trying to, work with collectives and all that stuff. And that's a great thing, man. Thanks very much for doing the Dubster podcast sessions. It's been a real good thing chatting with you, man. And we'll look out for some more stuff from you. Big up, Mug. Thanks very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for checking out the Dubster podcast sessions. You can subscribe via iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, or check out our website, dubster.co.uk, for more exclusive podcast sessions.